I am live on all of the spaces. Hi, guys. So we're doing, it is real dark in here. I might have to fix that. But we're doing the self-care menu. So exciting. Hi, Ian. It's weird that you're watching me right now, but hi. All right. So, yeah, I am doing the thing. I'm going to be making the self-care menu. First, I'm going to be making it in this notebook that I have. It is a notebook that I keep so much stuff in. It's like, oh, hi, Casey. I am live on all the places right now. It is really interesting for me. I'm actually really excited about it. But yeah, and I was saying I'm going to make this self-care menu, and it's going to be in my notebook. I have many notebooks for co-op, and this is not one of the co-op specific notebooks. This is just my personal notebook, the one that I use for everything. You can see how thick it is. I do stuff like this in this notebook all the time. So, right, I'll have I make little pages like with my name in it. I'll put great, I'll put I'll write articles and things in here. I don't know if you can see this. And all my movie stubs back from when I used to actually go to the movies. This whole page is nothing but movie stuff. Can you see this? I love movies so much, and I used to go to movies a lot. So I would use this book for all kinds of things, not just for that kind of stuff with just pages of just writing and, pages where I keep funny things I like. This is the comic my friend Heather used to make for our college. She called it Punching Babies. No babies were actually harmed in the making of that comic, which is, good because it's not nice to punch babies for real, but she made really funny comics. I keep them in here. The reason why I keep this is it's just kind of a fun little creative space for me. There's no stress in this notebook. There's no pressure or anything like that. It's just straight up, just fun stuff, whatever I feel like creating, I put in here. So I'm gonna put the self-care menu in here as well. So self-care menu. Now I kind of talked about this with some people before, but I'm going to start with a Post-it. It's just a regular Post-it. And I'm going to write down some of the things that I do to take care of myself, make myself feel better in general. When I am, just trying to take care of myself, whatever it is I want to do, I'll write it down here. So I'm going to start with just a plain list of the things that I do that make me feel better. And this, you can put whatever you want on this list. For me, preferably non-self-destructive things are nice. Things that involve binge eating, unhealthful activities, do not recommend. Make your own choices in life, but still don't recommend. The public health side of me is very aware that that is not something that's going to give you any sort of long-term comfort. And that's kind of the point of a self-care menu, is so that when you are in a moment where you're just super emotional about something, or when you want so badly to just feel better very quickly, and you just don't have the tools or the patience to think of something that works, it's really good idea to have something to go back to and to look at when you're in those spaces. So for me, one of the things that I have done a lot in the past, which is not, a bad thing, but it's something that can lead to unhealthful behaviors. I'll eat something that's my favorite food, but the problem with that is I'll eat a lot of it. I'll have 4 ice cream sandwiches, and that is kind of binge eating, and I don't really like that. So some things that I do instead of that, I kind of think about why am I going to the fridge? Why am I going to the freezer? What is this ice cream sandwich going to do for me? And the reason why I go through that thought process first is because it's important to recognize that we have weird behaviors for a reason. We don't just develop behaviors because it's like fun. That's not just the only reason. They do something for us. And I know it's hard and it's weird to think about it that way, but the truth is, like, we wouldn't have bad habits that persist for so long if they didn't accomplish something. So the first step is to like think about, what did your bad habit or what did your thing actually accomplish for you? Um, like, did your, like, for me, eating something really sweet kind of just give me a quick boost of sugar, a quick boost of dopamine? I'm just like, okay, now that I've recognized what that thing does for me, I think about something else that does that same thing with about the same amount of effort, and something that's probably not as detrimental to my health. So, for example, instead of eating 2 or 3 ice cream sandwiches, maybe I will exercise. Or for me, exercise always sounds like, ooh, that sounds like effort. That's like a 7 out of 10 effort, and I have about a 2 to give. So exercising, if I phrase it like that, it's just sound, my brain just goes effort and not doing it. It's so much easier just to eat ice cream. Or another example is, I'll say I'm going to go walking instead of hiking, because in my mind hiking goes, that's effort. That's more effort than I had to give in this moment, so let me try something else. So some of this is just like the way you word it, and some of this is just knowing yourself and figuring out like what activities bring you the most joy and happiness and fulfillment. So the first thing I'm going to put on my list is actually a mini dance party. Just a mini one. This is small. This is bitty, this teeny dance party. I just, because I feel like for me, a tiny dance party can be anything. Like, I could be in my bed and have a tiny dance party. I could be um, just like in my room. I can be in my closet. I can be on my way to my car. I can be in my car. Oh, the dance parties that have ensued in my car. I can be like anywhere and have a dance party. And, that is a lot easier for me to have a little jig, get that quick boost of dopamine, and it doesn't feel like this grand effort to do that. So the first thing is mini dance party. And if I had to rate like the amount of effort out of, let's say, like 5, how much effort I would need in order to make that, for me, dance parties take a little effort because anytime I hear something rhythmic, I'm kind of like restraining myself from moving. It actually probably takes a little bit more effort for me to hear music and not move than to hear music and move. So I'm just going to be like, oh, okay, let me just, instead of, um, having like junk food or something, specifically I'm thinking ice cream sandwiches because this is recent, I'm going to have a mini dance party. And that takes, for me, that takes like a 7 out of 5 effort. And that's something I've written on my list. Something else. And I usually like to pair these good habits with something else that I do. Like, I like to pair a good habit with another habit that is, gives me the same outcome, but something that's not as healthful that I want to continue. Something else is, I binge watch. Okay, anyone who knows me knows I love movies and TV and all kinds of things, but I will binge watch an entire season or entire series at night. And usually it's not because like, ooh, this is new and interesting and different. It's almost the exact opposite. Like, how many times have I seen Naruto all the way through? A lot. Or how many times have I like just watch the same 80s movies over and over and over again? And it's always like just Hunter x Hunter, all the anime. I just rewatch them on cycles. And the reason why is because I want that kind of like long space of time where my brain is occupied, but I'm not thinking critically. And I've noticed that happens a lot during when I'm in like a little bit of a burnout. Like, when I'm in the moment where I'm trying my best to trudge through and perform on some level at something that I just don't have the mental capacity to perform at. And, that's fair. It's really hard to perform. Like, it's really hard to perform regularly at a certain level, like every single day. It's just a lot. It's a lot of effort to do that. And I think that we sort of say, oh, it's not a big deal. It just do it and get it over with. Just do it and get it over with. And I am definitely someone who will search on YouTube like for productivity tips and all that. And I am also someone who has said and will probably continue to say, sometimes done is better than perfect, because that's a kind of a good motto, especially if you're trying to get out of the habit of perfectionism. But the truth is, like, sometimes you just don't. It's just not. It's not there. It's not there. It's okay. It's okay to not have that that moment going for yourself, to have the energy or the, I won't say wherewithal. It's more like to have the mental capacity or the emotional capacity or the decision-making power left in order to complete a task. And for me, what's important about that is I use those rewatching of shows like as kind of escapist moments where I don't have to think, I don't have to predict, I don't have to process new emotions, because I know exactly what's going to happen. I've seen it, I've done it many, 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 many times. It's over. I know what's going to happen. I'm just watching it for the familiarity and the comfort of it all. And it gives my brain a break from critical thinking and decision making processes in a space that is safe in my mind. And that's really hard to repeat in the real world, because the truth is, like, when you're doing many other tasks, you do have to think critically and you have to sort of be present for a lot of that. So what I did for this one, I was thinking of, I didn't really do a whole list because I wanted to do this like live, but one of the things I was thinking of is I really liked walking or you walk using the stationary bike, because when I'm walking, especially if I'm in a familiar path, a familiar park, I know the park, no surprise. There's a little element of being out in the world is always some kind of like a look over your shoulder type thing. So that makes it slightly more effort than, binge watching in my bed. But also, like, it gives me this familiarity. I know what to expect. I know where I'm going. That kind of comfort is there. But there's also this feeling of not only am I giving my brain time to turn off, but I'm physically doing a repetitive action, and it's almost like my muscles start to like relax and I feel less anxiety because I'm exercising. Again, I don't use that word very often because it just reads effort to me. And being real, when I'm in a moment where I have to distinctly think of self-care options, I am not in a place where effort sounds like a good idea. And I'm just going to be honest. So I'll go for like a familiar walk. So have a familiar walk, or something that's even less effort than this is to ride my stationary bike. It's back there, it's way back there. Ride my stationary bike while watching a show. And I stole this from Katie. Hi. I stole this from Katie, but I will ride my stationary bike while watching a show. I just put my iPad on it, and I won't think about how fast I'm going or how much tension I'm doing it at. I will just like ride, because it helps me work through my anxiety and gets me back to a place where I feel like I can start to function again. I don't like ending up on E, which is difficult because I do still have quite limited energy as an introvert, and winding up on E is kind of a little bit of a fear, is a touch and go for me. So if I get myself into a situation where I feel like I'm like losing energy, losing momentum, losing just whatever, it just becomes so it becomes so difficult to get back from E. For me to get from E to engaged again, it's just like the effort is astronomical. So I kind of dread getting on E. So it's just harder for me I'm more protective of myself and my time when I get close and close to that point. So doing these things like familiar walks and, the stationary bike as I'm approaching E is a lot more realistic than trying to get myself to think, oh, well, if I like if I binge watch this show, then, I suck and I'm not doing anything good for myself or whatever. That's not true. It just means that today I can make a better choice because I have better options that I know will work for me. And also, not only will I feel good right now, I'll feel good later. So if I had to rate familiar walk and like riding on the stationary bike in terms of effort, familiar walk is about a 3 effort, only because just being out in the world, just being out in the universe, just walking out of my door, I'm not gonna lie, it comes with a certain amount of just like, let's say anxiety. It comes with a certain amount of just tension, just being out in the world, even if I'm doing absolutely nothing else. But so that I would give about a 3 out of 5 in terms of like effort points. And then stationary bike, I'll give that like, again, like a 2 out of 5, because I'm still watching my show. I'm not doing it for any sort of exercise reasons. I'm just doing it to help my body release some tension and calm down. So there's that. And then, so we have 3 things. So let me jump back a little bit. So part of why this like self-care menu is just like a good option in general when it comes to trying to find what you can do is because the way I look at it, and again, this is introvert Clara talking, the way I look at it is that every day I have a certain amount of points in my mind. And they're not always as tangible, but I have an idea, like a general idea of uh, how much effort I have for that day. If I'm well rested, if I'm well fed, if I'm stressed out or whatever, it changes how many points I can use in a day. And that's why I like the idea of a self-care menu, because it's like, if I know, like say I start the day with 5 points, but I had to deal with a really difficult person in public that used a couple points. If I had to like really work hard to be kind to someone that day, whatever that meant, then that's another point. So I know that I'm approaching E now and I only have 2 points to spend. I will break out my self-care menu and go, hey, got 2 points to spend, approaching E, want to rejuvenate myself, but the trick is I have to spend my points on something that will get me back up to full or mostly full, but cannot deplete me in the process, which is like, I used to do things like put on my that notebook that I showed you, this one. I also have a planner that has my whole life in it. It's awesome, but it's a lot. I used to put things on my list like, do a Sydney Cummings 50-minute like strength building. Listen, and those are great for days when I have it to spend or that I specifically hoard my energy in order to spend it on those things. Those are all very helpful depending on like what I'm going through, what I'm working towards. Those are really helpful things to think about. The problem is that, excuse me, the problem is that when you about to be done with the day, and you know what I mean, like I'm done, like I'm going to bed, I'm not talking to anybody, no one's gonna talk to me, it's over, it's finished, let's be done with today, that whole feeling, when I'm approaching that, I'm not gonna do something else, even though I know will bring me back up to 100%. If it costs 10 and I only have 5, I will not make it through, will not reap the benefits, so it's not worth it. So that's why I'm just like, it's really important for me to have things on my list that don't cost a lot but are more high impact. So that's the other thing. Something else that I've realized I like to do, and this, I don't say this is embarrassing, but it's kind of like something that I didn't really expect from myself. Wait a minute, you gotta move my flowers. Thanks, Shoot, for the tumbler, the Heroes of Science tumbler. I still have it. It's in my cabinet, and I kept this because it's pretty too. So let me. There we go. But the other thing that I do, I don't know if you can see this. You probably can't. What am I saying? But I have a magnifying mirror on my work desk. Yes, on my work desk. And I have like brow gel and like tweezers and a lot of other things. And under my desk, I have like a whole little baggie of all kinds of bits and bobs and boops. And under the desk is like a treasure trove of like facial self-care stuff. My skin is so damn smooth these days. It's so smooth these days. So what I'll do, I like to give myself 20 minutes just to groom myself. And I know that's crazy because I used to be like, I hated the idea of spending like an hour on makeup and this and that. And I'm just like, I realized since working from home, what I'll do is I'll come to my desk with my tea or my breakfast or whatever before work starts. I'll sit at my desk, get acclimated to the space. I'll set it up. I'll fidget. I'll run back and forth, getting myself ready for the day. And then when I'm getting to comfy space, I start grooming myself. And that means like I'm plunk whatever I need to plunk. Whatever I need to. I like comb out my eyebrows. I like use whatever and it's not even like I wear makeup. I have it, but I don't wear it really. But the physical action and the emotional action of taking care of myself slowly, deliberately, regularly makes me feel good. I don't know how else to say that, but it makes me feel good. So even if it's something, and this is not like, again, it's not really about like makeup or what you really do to your face or your body. It's the action. Like every day I'm taking 10 to 20 minutes before I give it to anyone else. I'm giving it to myself. Before I pay anyone else, I'm paying myself with my energy and my time. And I find that taking that 10 to 20 minutes to groom myself in the morning, it's so helpful. It just kind of makes me puts myself like front and center. And I think I tend to make better, more healthful decisions at the beginning of the day when I do stuff like that, because that means that first thing when I wake up, after I like praise the Lord for waking me up this morning, and then like I poke my partner, everything's great. And then I go take care of myself. And I'm just like, yes, I feel fantastic. I feel like I can conquer things today because instead of, using the time I had to, hold on, this is about to die. Instead of using that time to lay in bed for 5 more minutes, don't get me wrong, I do that too, to lay in bed for a little while longer, I'm using this time to take care of myself. And I feel like it's first thing in the morning and I've already won. That's like a lot for me to feel like I won first thing in the morning. That's already just like a really big deal. And I'm really excited about that. So I'm definitely put that. And that is like a 1 in terms of effort. Like I don't really need to do anything. I just sit there. I like pay attention to my skin. I like give it hydration. I wear masks because I do like the pore strips every now and then. I have like an aloe plant. Okay, so this is my baby aloe plant. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 aloe plants of varying sizes. This is the smallest one. I just potted this. It's so tiny. Can you see this? It's itty bitty, but it's beautiful. And I have so many of them. I'm actually propagating them to start giving away because I have so many. I have so many, but they're every now and then I'll accidentally knock something because you're human. I'll knock something over. Oh, you can see the gigantic aloe plant in the background. You guys can. So when I do that, and I have like a leaf, I'll use it for like my skin. But just that act of taking care of myself in the morning, to 10, 20 minutes, it's just like a little bit of skincare. When I'm brushing my teeth, I'll wash my face at the same time. I'll brush, wash, and then I'll come to the desk and do things. So I'd do like face care and add that as a 1 thing. I would like to hear if anyone's out there thinking like what's something that you would add to your self-care menu so far. I already have 4 things on mine: having a mini dance party, going on a familiar walk, riding a stationary bike, and watching shows. And then I have face care. And also, so those are the things I'm starting with, just those 4. I want to do 1 more. And this one costs me just like a little bit more effort, but it also has like a higher payoff. I like to repot or take care of my plants. So obviously I water them. I realize you guys can't see most of them. They're all over. They're just everywhere. They're on the floor. They're on the floor. But I want way more plants. We don't have outside space. So this is as close as I'm getting to nature these days. but I repot my plants. So if you see me repotting my plants, just know that like I'm in the zone. Like me and nature and myself are like this. So repotting my plants is like a good time. So repotting my plants, I would say one of those things that costs probably the most energy, like a 4 out of 5. And 5 would be like a full-on exercise routine. Like say a 40-minute exercise routine would be a 5. But both those things are high cost, but they're slightly higher payoff as well. And I feel like because taking care of something when I get into my own mess, I can get into my own mind, taking the time out. So caring for myself is a great thing, but also caring for other things. I don't have a pet. That's a long story. Really want one, don't have one, working on it. I had plants and plants are alive and I really care about plants. I just like the feeling and the effort I put in to take care of my plants. So taking care of my plants, taking care of plants, I would say that would cost me like a 4 out of 5, only because it's dirty, it's messy. You have to like, it's a slightly more precise action. And then, oh goodness, I literally just forgot. I hear buzzing. But yeah, just taking care of my plants. And I'm going to put that on there for now. Oh, and then doing like a full-on exercise thing. So yeah. Oh, it's actually my phone that's going crazy. Whoops. But like doing a full-on exercise thing and taking care of my plants, I would say both cost a little bit more, but they otherwise pay off a little bit more as well. So taking care of plants. So, and then exercise routine. My favorite exercise routines are Sydney Cummings. I do a lot of modifications for her because she is way more flexible in the knee region than I like the burp. No, I love Chloe Ting too, but she is very heavy on like the burpees and the knees, and my knees are not built like that. I'm almost 30 now. Oh my gosh, that was so scary to say. I'm like a year and a month away from 30. I'm a year and a week away from 30, but like still, that costs a lot. It costs a lot of effort for me to try to do those exercises. Not only because like the lead up stretching and then the wind down stretching and self-care that needs to happen in order for me to feel okay the next day. It's a lot of effort. So yeah. So what is on my self-care menu is mini dance party, familiar walk, stationary bike while watching show, face skincare, taking care of my plants, and a full-blown exercise routine is like 40 minutes or so. So those are all things. Oh, hi, Katie. And I definitely mentioned you earlier, Katie. And I was saying that I credited you. I stole your move by like watching shows and being on a stationary bike. That's one of my self-care items. So mini dance party, going on a familiar walk, stationary bike with my favorite show, face or skincare, taking care of my plants and exercise routines. So then what happens is you have a nice, I'm going to put it in my book because I don't like loose paper. I am quick to throw something away. I'm like, no purpose, no use in this, goodbye. I will throw something away for sure. So have yourself, I'm going to use this nice blank sheet of paper and I'll show you all the goodies and pretty things I have. A while ago, I think I posted it on Facebook or Instagram or something. Hey, I think I posted it on Facebook or Instagram or something about I need to go and get some things from Michael's. I was going to go to Michael's, but also I didn't want to spend money. So I went shopping on my bookshelf. And I have like these pretty shiny pieces of paper. Yes, I'm lame. I actually no, I'm not lame. I'm cool. I'm cooler than the rest of them. The thing is, when you make something pretty and you take the time to pick out colors and patterns and things that make you go, ooh, pretty, you're more likely to look at it. So I have like a bunch of shiny things. I mean, like a bunch of shiny things. I have all the shinies. All the shiny, so much shiny. So I think I'm gonna use this orangey kind of gold looking color. And I also okay, so one thing Co-op used to do, I don't know if you're OG Co-op, you would know this, is that Co-op used to do these chill fests, and I am definitely planning to reinstate these, like chill fests in the park. Once I work out how to reserve spaces in the park, or I might just like, do it anyway, ask for forgiveness and permission type thing. But like just meet a bunch of people in the park, have fun, bring a bunch of art supplies, and have people like hang out and paint and color and whatever. So I have, in that time, I have this box that I used to carry around with me. Again, this is OG co-op days. I have this great box. Actually, Katie, I'm pretty sure this is your box. But I have this great box that I carried around with me, and it has like art supplies, it has like word searches and puzzles and coloring books, and it has like this tiny game of Jenga. So yeah, and Play-Doh and all that other stuff. And I'm gonna revamp this box obviously before we're in person, but this is where I keep all those like self-carry items. Oh, and if I don't remember who drew what, but some of y'all have some really like pretty talent with some of the things. This is from like old school co-op days, the doodles and things that people did and just kind of left behind. I kept them. And I know this one's Ian's. Wait, hold on. Because he will say that all the time. But I kept some of these. But the thing is, as a part of that, the shiny paper and other things, I also have all this fancy paper that I bought for this event. So I have like these birds, more gold paper, these, just like elephants, what? And the shiny black paper. I just love all this stuff. It's all very pretty. I think for the purposes of zhuzhing up my self-care menu, I'm going to use these birds. Because you know what I think of when I see these birds? I always think of like that Bob Marley song, 3 little birds sat on my window. And I'm like, oh yeah, birds sat on my window. And I'm just like, I don't know why the birds bring that song to mind. That song brings me a sense of calm. So I'm going to use this to develop my self-care menu. So I'm going to pick this one, and they don't really go together, but it's going to be perfect. I don't want to be perfect. I just want it to be pretty. So I'm going to use this. I think I'm going to use 1 page of this shiny paper. Oh, hey, Lexia. So so I'm going to use this, and some gold paper, and that's what I'm going to use for my self-care menu. So I want you to actually try to make it look like a menu. Make it look fancy if you want to. Try to like experiment with different patterns and like page cuts and things like that. Some examples. I have all this off to the side because there's a lot of stuff. But like, here's like, you can do like lines and stuff. Ooh, look at that shiny. But you can do like lines and stuff. I have some of the gold and what's there. These are just like postcards I made when I was bored, because arts and crafts is bad. I will glue, tape, cut. Like look at this. This is just the scraps of something else I was cutting, and I was like, oh, those will make a cute postcard. So I just made these. So do whatever you want. Like be creative. Like go to Pinterest, go to Google, find something you want to use in order to create really like a nice pattern, something that'll make you want to look at it. I could do something like this, cutting it, splicing it like triangles. And I just did those, and that was like just fun how I can use these papers for something fun. And also, I know you can't tell because obviously it's a video, but like this paper, ASMR type stuff, it's textured. It feels like stiff cloth, and this is really smooth, and this is also textured, like it's embossed as well. I think texture is almost just as important as color when you're making things, because it just gives it that extra thing that makes you want to touch and play with it. And I always feel like if I don't have a reason to touch or play with something, I'm really not going to use it. I'm also the person, so I'm sitting at my work desk. I'm also the person that keeps markers and color pencils. Don't worry, there's more, and crayons in my desk, along with many like things I can do just in my desk. Like I have like the rainbow maker. I have like the stress boat. I don't know where I got this from, but like I have a stress boat. Just random things on my desk to entertain me. And to make me This is one of those. I got this from the MIM, the Musical Instrument Museum. I don't know where this was. Was it in somewhere out west? Probably Scottsdale. I don't know. Somewhere out west. I'm sorry. It's like one of the Miyagi drums. But and this brings me back to the point. See how distracted I am just by the fact that I have this stuff in my desk. But the fact is like when I'm thinking or when I want to calm myself and I want something to do with my hands, I will play with the many things in my desk. So moral of the story is when you're making your self-care menu, just like think about stuff that you like, that's pretty, and that's pretty can be many things that you are attracted to, that feel good to you, that sound good to you, things like that. Like you can put a button that has like a affirmation. I know they make those like, oh man, I wish I still had that you are a badass button. Like you press the button and say you are a badass. Like you create your reality. Or was my favorite, feed fear a suck it sandwich. I'm like, okay, Jensen Sincero, yes, girl. But yeah, so I'm gonna use this as my base. This is where I'm gonna actually write self-care menu on it. So I'm gonna do that, and I'll see how I wanna. Oh my gosh, is this perforated? No. My partner, who's a paper nerd, would be like, this paper isn't that great. And I'm like, well, yeah. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's just paper. It's supposed to be like pretty and fun. But tell me, how you guys doing out there? How's life? How's the panorama, the panini treating you now that there seems like there is some sort of light at the end of the tunnel? Like, let me know. Tell me how you feel about it. Yeah, how do you feel about all of the stuff that's been going on these days? Tell me something positive is happening to in your life. Let me know. I know like something positive is happening in my life, that I'm finally figuring out this live stream business. Oh, hey, Erica. And that's really fun for me. It's a new challenge. I like new challenges. And, that's positive. I also actually left my apartment after work today, which is hard to, I didn't think it would be difficult at first to leave one's apartment after work from home day. But like sometimes I just don't want to go nowhere. It's like you spend all your day working like, oh my gosh, I can't leave, and there's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. And then you get ready to go, I don't want to go. Which is sad. But kind of true. Like what else is there? Like not like what else is there, but like it's so easy to not want to change. Like when you have no momentum, it's so hard to change something. And I feel like I'm about to go on a really rant type deal here. But the truth is like when you don't have momentum to change, it's really hard to change because you have to like invent motivation. And that's hard. Inventing motivation is difficult. Like it's so difficult. Okay, I can't with this this crooked line. I need a ruler. But yeah, like inventing motivation, it's difficult. Even if it's motivation to do something you love or something you just need to do for your well-being. Like I'm going to after this, I'm going to go get some bubble tea, and I'm going to go to Target to get us some dish soap because I've been promising that I'm going to do that and I haven't done that. And I need to like keep my promises to myself and to my house. Like, ooh, Katie has something fun to say. So we got accosted by a pupper today in the field, and the price of passage was belly rubs. I love belly rubs. That is so cute. My friends like to send me, not only like to send me, I request adamantly, regularly, and frequently pictures and videos of their pets, because I am not allowed to have pets where I live. So it makes me so happy when they humor me and just like send me videos and things of their pets. So I've been on Adorable Overload for a long time, and I love it. I even joined like a cat owners Facebook group because I don't have a pet and I really won't. But yes, I totally understand this whole price of passage just belly rubs. And I would be perfectly fine paying that price over and over and over again because, have a little cute in your life. Why not? So this is the first thing going down here. I cannot find my glue. That's okay. We're going to use Scotch tape. Not even kidding. It's not about being perfect. It's about getting it done and enjoying it. So if me getting up to find glue is going to do anything but add to my process, then I don't want to do it. That's not what's nice about. It's about being positive, about finding things that are good for you and feeling like, things can be nice. I have been watching a lot of videos of puppies and kittens. I don't know. So here's the thing. The way I feel, I didn't grow up with pets. So pets are a new phenomenon for me. But the thing I'm realizing is that animals can be just like, I find people, I hate to say it this way, but I feel like in a lot of ways, animals can be like the lowest common denominator for humanity. It's like one of the first things you recognize as an empathetic being is that animals are smaller and weaker and that they are innocent, and that feeling, that understanding is something like a lot of culture, especially America, shares, like this feeling, this like responsibility to protect little things, which is amazing. So when I'm seeking common ground with someone or people or whatever, I always think about how animals always come to mind, because it's like they're just cute and innocent, and they just want to live and love and just and I honestly, I wasn't really, like I said, didn't grow up having pets. I didn't grow up like with any of that, really, any like positive opinion of animals. Actually, I was like, my brother and was attacked by a dog when we were younger. I was attacked by, I won't say attacked, that was a little bit of a strong word, but for me, I was always afraid of dogs because my brother had been attacked by a dog and he told me the story, and that always freaked me out. And I would, like I said, I didn't grow up around any pets beyond a betta fish. So when I think it was like an uncle or cousin or something, but at a barbecue, a dog I had been like slowly getting to know, like, dog's chained up, whatever. He just, a little dog just wanted to play with me. And I was scared. I was scared pissless, guys. I was so scared. And he chased me around the yard and everybody was laughing. And I was absolutely terrified. And I did not trust dogs after that. I did not like animals at all. Not to the point of hurting them ever, but to the point that I just didn't want to be around them. I didn't ever consider I'd want a pet. And then Katie. Katie with her freaking cute little dog with the tongue hanging out, and bringing her little cute Chloe to, oh gosh, what was the other puppy's name? Bringing a cute little dog to campus when parents came when we were in college. Also bringing what am I saying? Also, like, one of my other previous roommates talking about how she really wanted a cat, and I was just like, you know what, Clara, let's try this whole pet thing. Everyone seems to really like having pets. Like, what's stopping you? What's stopping me is that I also didn't want to be responsible for a pet. Not that, again, it's not a pet's fault because they're cute and adorable, innocent little things, but I found it hard to think about how I would bond or treat a pet well, because I felt like I didn't have enough resources. And not only that, but I also felt like, oh, someone else can give them way more love than I could. So that was always something. But come to find, in my adult life, pets make me feel, just the idea of pets, just I watch videos. Before I go to sleep, I watch videos of cats being adorable. And just like that feeling, it just makes me happy. Just seeing a cat be happy in the world and not thinking about it just reminds me that we create a lot of the stuff. There's it's just like humans almost forget that we are the ones shaping our cultures and our worlds day by day. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm negating the fact that, a lot of these choices are kind of made for us in a little bit of ways, and not a little bit of ways, a lot of ways. But the fact is, how innocent they are just makes me think of how much power we have as humans have to shape our world and our realities, and decide who we're going to get along with and what we stand for and what we don't stand for, and we can decide how we want to live our life and build our existence. And somehow animals remind me of that. Like I used to have a background on my computer in college, and it was something along the lines of, you are on a rock floating through space. And I don't know why that brought me such comfort, but it did. And I had a friend, also that a friend we called Oates, and he used to say something along the lines of that too. It said something like, "Oh, my life is insignificant." And I was like, "What?" Run that by me again. And he was just like, "Yeah, my life is insignificant. I am a very normal person with very normal contributions to this world." And having him just say out loud, "Yeah, I'm just a normal dude living a normal life. I'm going to get a normal job, have a normal existence," whatever normal is. He's not a normal dude, but in like a nice way. He is an exceptionally kind and open person. But this idea, like, hey, yeah, I'll probably make some waves and do some things, and I'm not going to stand up for what I would believe in and all that. But just like this idea of like, I'm just going to accept that I'm just one small dot in this giant sea of, humanity and community. And somehow that's comforting to me. And I was like, true, that's amazing. I love that for you. I love that for me too now. But that was a really nice thought, because it made me feel like it kind of turned it into I must do this in order to be relevant, to anything I do good is going to be in addition. And all I have to do to feel like I didn't completely fail at life is to be as like humble and open as possible. And I don't know why that's a comforting thing, but it was super comforting to me at the time. So that was really nice. And we're moving along with this. Oh, this is too big. That's fine. Gonna go ahead and cut that. Can I close it? I cannot. That's a problem. Anyway, so yeah, that was really a bit of positivity, just the idea. And I've realized over the past year of the panini that we're in, I've met so many cool people, or just like, and I not just met, but I've like missed a lot of cool people that I used to hang out with a lot more, used to have like a lot more community friendships and things with them. And I just miss the diversity of perspective in my life, because the truth is, I am not really, I'm not the best at stuff. And I try to be open. But the truth is, like, I only have my experience to go on, unless I am blessed with someone else's experience, for someone else to share that experience with me. So when people are really like, how should I say, when people really like share with me and, add to my life and my existence with their perspective, and they're willing to share that with me, I'm so happy to like that they've felt like they have the opportunity to share that with me, and that I will, that I will not only like take that with love and stride and understanding, but I will also like use that in my everyday life. I just love that people feel or understand my intention enough to share with me, because I ask people random questions all the time and share their positive experiences with me, and that like keeps me going. And which is again weird, because I'm an introvert, and I don't really like the whole introvert extrovert thing, because I obviously founded a community organization that's intensely based on seeing people a lot on a regular basis and having meaningful interactions with them on a regular basis, and listening to them and reacting to those preferences and life choices. So it's always going to be a little weird for me that I categorize myself as an introvert. But like I said at the beginning, effort costs me something, and the recovery time is long and difficult. So that's a part of why I the part of why it takes so much effort for me to do things. Also, so anyone else have like positive things aside from like beautifully nice little animals, puppers getting pets and such in the park. If you have any like positive things that happen to them, I would love to hear it as I continue to work on this, because this is also really fun. I'm really enjoying this. I feel like I'm doing an art project. It has a point, and I'm going to add to it as I go along. That's the other thing about a self-care menu, or like, even if you're making just like a plain list, you're like, I don't have the art in me today. That's fine. I don't feel creative every day either. But the other thing is you can add to this. Like, you can add pages. That's part of why I did it in a book, is that I can just add things to it, and they'll be good. Is this what I want? No. Is that what I want? Is that what I want? Is that what I want? I don't even know what happened. Is this it? Oh, it is. Yay. All right. So, but yeah, something else that's been happening lately that I enjoy, I have been like really reveling in this whole food and eating thing. I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. So, the thing is, diet culture kind of boomed during the pandemic, right? It did. It kind of boomed because like everyone's like, oh, if you don't come out of the panorama with 6-pack abs and 7 streams of income, you're doing it wrong. I'm like, bruh, I'm barely getting out of bed for half of this. I'm like working in healthcare and all of this. I'm concerned with my well-being, my livelihood, my family, and all this. And you're telling me that you want me to, in the midst of all this pain and destruction, you want me to like, instead of focusing on thriving in what really matters, you want me to like, bruh. I was not for it. I was not at all. I was pretty annoyed by that development in the world, and I didn't really want to have anything to do with it. I did actually have a lot of good habits that came out of the pandemic, the phenomena, but it wasn't really about, I mean, it is about losing weight, because I felt like I added a lot of weight to myself that just is generally not good for me, because I have knee issues, etc. But that was more like I worked really hard on, getting good, consistent sleep. I worked really hard on finding out how to, finding out how to eat in a way that's full and complete and colorful and nutritionally relevant. And that was a really positive thing for me too. Like I talked about that actually last month during Positivity. It's like how my eating changed and continues to morph and change, but in a really fantastic way. Like I was really excited about it all. So yeah. And just like, I don't know, just having that opportunity to change and to feel like the world was also changing was nice, but it was scary because I felt like the direction that the world was going in was not the direction I was going in. And that scared me. Hi, at our of her own. How you doing? Yeah, so I really wanted to change, and I wanted to do it in a way that was meant for me, and I did. And I really worked really hard to do that. And it wasn't like all the effort ever. It was like every day a little more effort, every day a little more effort, everything a little bit better today than it was yesterday. And that was really helpful. And that actually really helped with co-op. Like, again, a lot of the talk around this time was like, you need to have all these streams of income, and you need to like be a boss and all these things. And the rhetoric online was like, you need to be this, that, and the other. I'm like, no, actually, I really don't. I need to be alive. I need to be safe. I need to be present. I need to be healthy. I need to be those things. But this idea that you're spouting that everyone's going to come out of this perfect is just unrealistic. And I don't like that whole toxic positivity, the idea that you're being positive to uphold some kind of societal image that doesn't mesh with your authentic being. I don't like that. I like the idea of practicing positivity, which is seeing the best or better in what has happened and what you have done, have become, are experiencing. I like real world positivity because it's just so much more potent to me than just branded positivity. I just think it's so much more important for me to really care about like these things wholeheartedly than to think them just another part of this whole like scheme of doing things. Because I don't know, I prefer authenticity, and I prefer it when a positive story is real and a part of your being. I don't know. I used to say this quote by George or something. Oh my gosh, now I'm gonna forget. But it's by someone named George, and the quote goes something like, "Every a man goes through life. Man, everyone goes through life, and every person they meet leaves a mark on their soul," or something like that. And I honestly feel that way. I'm gonna close this blind because now it's creepy to have blinds open because it's nighttime. There we go. But like they like every person you meet, everything you do leaves a mark on your soul. And I'm just like, but yes, though. And I know that sounds again cray cray, but it's true. Like it does leave a mark on your soul. At least I felt that way. I felt for sure that every person I have met during the panini, every experience I have tried, like thinking about it, I spent this time sleeping better, eating better, exercising more, going outside, like spending deliberate time reconnecting with my friends, like, talking with my family, like reconnecting with my siblings, like really building a good relationship with my sister. Like that's what I did during this time. Like, and I regret nothing. And I not only that, but I also I feel like I did my duty as a public health professional. And, all that was like, again, really difficult to deal with because it's like, it is what it is. But it's like doing all that and still managing to feel like I'm moving forward instead of backwards, which was a moment when I was like, I feel like I'm standing still. But I really wasn't standing still, but it felt like I was standing still for a very long time. So yeah. So yeah, I feel like even in the midst of all that, feeling the authentic positivity gave me something to look forward to. I'm writing out self-care now. And that exact moment, my metallic silver marker that I've had for dies. It's dead. That's so unfortunate. But I have a backup red marker. I don't really. So here we go. And guess what, guys? My red markers died. That's awful. Wow. The silver marker dies, and then the red marker dies. And maybe I really should have gone to red marker's dead. All right, let's try one more time. Remember, I have my little stash in my desk of watercolor markers. These are like the kitty markers. Watercolor markers are kind of like, yeah, they're kind of like, exactly. So I'm going to do red and black or gray. Should I do red and gray? Let's do red and gray. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and use this red marker. So yeah, so leave in the comments below, or like when you talk to your friends, talk about like something. Don't just talk about it with me. Like talk about it with each other. Share your positive moments, because I feel like it's almost the requirement that we all talk about how tired we are, how scared we are, how difficult everything's. And don't get me wrong, things are scary and sad and difficult, but I challenge you like to talk about things that are good, things that have come out of this, things that have added to you and brightened you during this time, the people that kept you sane, implying that we're all still sane, the people that have kept you sane, the channels and creators that have kept you sane and present and still like trying. Because I know I watch a lot of YouTube and I consume a lot of content. And I got to say, like, having the opportunity really to to like see these creators on a regular basis added something to my life. There's no shame in that. It's lovely that they could create content that would add. Like I know like Kelsey Impeachment May. Her actual name is Kelsey Impeachment, but her character in 100 Baby Challenge was like Kelly Casey something else in Peaches May. And she actually just quit BuzzFeed, but she was someone I would look forward to seeing. She was something regular. It was nice just having that time where I could check in on her gameplay. And it was like endearing for me. It was nice. And I'm glad that she's getting out on her own. Not that like BuzzFeed hasn't been great to her, because I feel like she was a great BuzzFeed employee and BuzzFeed got a lot from her employment with them. But I feel like I'm so excited to see what she does in the future. And that goes for a lot of the other creators. Again, that kept me sane. Like Cream Heroes on YouTube, they do like cat. She does like Claire loves cats. She also does a bunch of cat videos I watched. Pertacular, the Facebook group, did like fantastic, and I follow them because I don't have a pet and I really would like one. Or what else? Just all these creators, like even YouTube, like not YouTube, Instagram, like Embracing the Crown, Hey New Friends, just like a bunch of people, like Sierra, like Ambitiously Sierra or Sierra Ambitious. I always mix Ambitious Sierra, Sierra Ambitiously. One way or the other, Sierra Ambitiously or Ambitiously Sierra. She's worked with Co-op before. She actually did a Positivity event several months ago, and she was fantastic. I still have that recording, so if anybody's interested in that, please let me know. I might actually publish it on the YouTube channel. But yeah, Sierra was great. Like, so these creators that create this content where they're showing you how they're actually living their lives and trying to move forward is just, it's just bomb. It's just great. And also Cameron Ronay, like influencer, like lawyer, she's been great as well. Like I love seeing a professional. It's so hard to find people in the YouTube creator influencer space who have like an idea of like a full understanding of what it's like to like work full time in a like professional job. The reason why I find that interesting is because I think it brings something interesting to her perspective. Because I think some YouTubers, the more big they get, they forget how hard it was when you weren't that big. And I love that she shares enough for us to really understand what it's truly like to get where she is and do what she's doing. That brings me joy. And I hope that you all have found creators that bring you joy and keep you informed. Also, I have discovered TikTok. TikTok, I am 28, I'm going to be 29 soon. And TikTok has caught me by surprise with how much I love the content. So this is my page so far, by the way. So here it is. It's like shiny, pieces, lines. I love like the texture and space. And this is where I'll put like the menu bit. And I'll probably like paper mache or glue it all down later, but it's just taped down for now. But yeah, so I would love to become a creator that produces content that people love, that people enjoy, that people feel a connection to, that adds to their life and well-being. I would love to be that kind of creator, and I'm still figuring out what that means for me. I'm still figuring out how I fit into that space, because the truth is I am not really like a trendy person, and I'm definitely, like I said, someone who needs to protect their energy. So creating like trendy viral content isn't something that's necessarily going to be realistic for me. And that's okay too. I just need to find the place that works best for me and how I can best spread positivity in the places and spaces that I'm going to. And I'm really excited for all that. So for me, I think that that's going to be my best move moving forward. So I'm going to add all the things on here that I've mentioned before. I'm going over to my little Post-it, and it's just a mini dance party, a familiar walk, stationary bike with watching my shows, face skincare, taking care of my plants, and like a full exercise routine. I'm just gonna write these in real quick because we're at time. Thanks guys for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I'm pumped to see, what else happens in the world and how else we like get from point A to point B. This is not the pen I want to use. And I'm going to put these in order actually in terms of like how much they cost me. From like most to least. I was going to do least to most, but I changed my mind the last second because I want to take the time to consider what I actually have left in my tank before I go to what's easiest. So here we have the thing that's 4 and 5 is like the full exercise routine, and that cost me, I'm gonna say points, so 4 points. And then I have care for plants, and that's also 4 points. Most next over 3 point. Yeah, I have familiar. Well, I can't spell familiar. It's like I'm literally blanking. Walk, and that will be 3 points. And then we have, what's this? 3 points. And then mini dance party. Mini dance party. Mini dance party, and that's 2 points. And then stationary bike with comfort shows with an O. And that's gonna be 2 points as well. And I'm gonna use this whole right side. I'm gonna use the whole right side for just 1 pointers. So I'm gonna do like face and skincare. Oh, 1 point. I'm gonna do cat videos. That's also 1 point. Cat videos, 1 point. Fresh air that could be literally out a window. I'm gonna also call that 1 point. What else? I think I need one or two more 1 pointers, but you know what? I can work on this later. So that's it. This is my not my final project because I still have to glue these. I'm probably going to add some more. I might like take like a fancy marker to write these properly because I literally forgot how to spell familiar and I really can't even. I have no excuse. I just can't remember. So yeah, so this is what it's looking like so far. My things from like how much everything is going to cost in terms of energy points or effort points rather. And that's where we are. So my like wonderful, colorful like notebook continues to live on with my world in it. And I love that I have this. And I don't know if you guys remember this. This is someone's Christmas ornament. Even before co-op, when I was still in college, we used to make like Christmas ornaments together and like Valentine's Day cards and all kinds of things together. This is someone's Christmas ornament. I really don't remember whose, but it's really cute and I kept it forever. So just if it was you, I still have your Christmas ornament. It's beautiful and I want to like keep it forever and for always. Or just like me like all these things. I would love to share this with you guys one day, but like for now, yeah, self-care menu done and dusted. Next month, I don't know what I want to do. I think maybe I'll work on like showing you guys how I work through like an action plan, not a literal action plan, but it's more like you decide what you like. How do I go about like deciding what direction I want to go in aside from ask people, because I usually just go right to the source. I'm a very direct person. But But yeah, I would like show you guys, maybe I'll show like my flowchart process for that, which is just like your major goal and then like what all those, oh, who was it? Maybe it was Jess who told me this. I don't know. But I think someone else uses this method as well. Someone famous, of course, someone famous. But like you just like keep breaking down every single thing you need in order to achieve that main goal. And then that secondary goal, and that tertiary goal, quaternary goal, keep going until the step is so simple that you can feel like it's within your reach. So you work on those outskirts and you work your way into your main goal. And I'm like, oh yes. So I'll show you guys that next time maybe, and that'll be great. So yeah, that's what it is. Done, done, done. I really appreciate you guys. I'm gonna end it on YouTube first. End stream. And